News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM. Dave Wolf, Bret, Witkowski, wrapping things up from Dixon Stadium in St. Joe, where the Bears come away with a 20-6 win over Zeeland East in the first round of the playoffs. And first thing I have to say is St. Joe's defense played a hell of a game.
The best effort all season against a quality opponent. You know, they had their backs against them quite a few times. St. Joe offense didn't move the ball as effectively as they've done throughout the season. And you're going to get that.
You're going to see that later on in playoffs.
And it was nice to see St. Joe's defense. They had a lot of guys who, Cotty coming back, I think, was a huge help. And St. Joe, I thought flowed to the ball better. And the defensive line, I think, had their best game all season. St. Joe got that early score, had another chance to go to score. They fumbled. They gave up the 95-yard drive. But other than that, they really shut down the running game for Zeeland. They didn't run the ball but for 6 yards in the second half.
And I thought that was a big turning point. Say you had a chance to go up big,
Correct.
Go 14-0, maybe possibly even more. And that fumble at the 4-yard line by H. Dixon, Zeeland comes back the other way, ties it up. I think another thing that you thought could have hurt the St. Joe momentum was the long injury timeout.
Correct. And we talked about that a lot. How do you react to that as a team, especially when it's your teammate? And, those are difficult situations. There's no right way to react to it. But I thought St. Joe overcame it as quickly as they could. You can easily shut down mentally because you can think that's you being the next player having to go through that.
And I think another thing to note tonight was the effectiveness of Zeeland East on fourth down. I mean, St. Joe did a lot on Zeeland West fourth down, and they weren't able to convert.
No, a lot of times St. Joe did a great job. At times, Zeeland East struggled with the center snap to the quarterback, and it would throw it off there. But St. Joe's defense, excuse me.
Hi, I'm Dave.
Hi, Dave.
Nice to meet you.
But, I think overall did a great job tonight. The one thing I think they improved the most on was open field tackling.
Mm-hmm.
And Dominic Linnell had a great game getting into the backfield quite a few times. They had a lot of loss of plays. They had, looks like about 7 or 8 plays where they dropped Zeeland East for loss of yards. They have not done that all season. And that's kind of been their Achilles heel. They never really got penetration onto the opposing team's quarterback, and then he could sit back there and pick where he wanted to go and throw the ball.
Like putting him behind the sticks,
correct,
behind schedule, and you're forcing passing situations and a lot of bad passing situations. I mean, just the only really consistent thing they had, Zeeland East had, was the screen up the middle, and that stopped working late in the game.
Yeah, St. Joe never got beat deep. Longest pass play of the entire night was 14 yards. And so if you can limit that to your opponents, you're going to have a good shot. But, Zeeland East plays in one of the toughest, if not the toughest overall conference in the state. I mean, we look at Ford Field and look where a lot of the teams are. Don't be surprised to see a lot of teams out of the OK Conference. So you beat a quality opponent here tonight. And, next week you got the same thing. The thing I get a little concerned about is LeClaire. LeClaire is getting hit hard. I mean, he ran the ball and got hit hard. He got hit hard throwing the ball. Last Friday he had to come out because he had got hit so hard. Got to keep him safe. And one of the things that you don't see at the high school level is as quarterbacks are getting pressure. Once they get outside the pocket, they can throw the ball and just get rid of it like you see in college and NFL. And that's one thing they have to learn a little better. And not a negative, he's just a gamer, but probably now at that quarterback position, definitely because Corning's out for the season. Don't worry about trying to pick up an extra 2 yards on the run to the outside. Just step out of bounds so your body doesn't get hit, because they need you every series, because other than that, you're down to your freshman quarterback. And that's tough at the playoff level.
The other thing I want to think about St. Joe tonight is one, they never trailed, and how much they came back after last week against Portage Central. They put that one out of their mind, and you couldn't tell that St. Joe lost 40-8 last week, and St. Joe really came out with a new focus this week. And you look across the way, and they look virtually identical jersey-wise for Portage Central and Zeeland East, but there was a definite size difference between Portage Central last week and Zeeland East this week.
University of Portage Central. I'm telling you what, that is, and I've said it and I'll say it again, the best or second best high school team I've ever seen. And they were leading 32-0 at halftime. And we're talking playoff football.
Yeah.
And this team is only thing you could take out of Portage Central is that you scored the most points against them all season, which was 8. and you don't have to play them again in the playoffs.
Yep.
You know, you face the best team you're going to see in your career. Now you can move on and handle other teams. And, you know, hopefully the SMAC does well tonight. You know, Portage Central is going to win. We'll find out at Portage Northern. And
Portage Northern was down by a lot.
Were they?
And I saw Kalamazoo Central was winning at the half.
Really? That would be a big upset.
But,
Kalamazoo but Portage Central, and kudos to Portage Central Athletics. They're in a state championship for soccer, too, tomorrow.
Yep, as well as
South Good luck to the Rams. Hopefully they bring home a state title. But, you know, if you're a Bear fan, you got to be excited. The one thing I was disappointed in Dave, is the few Bear fans here.
Oh, little Halloween ice.
And maybe. There wasn't a lot of Bear fans last week either. I mean, come on, man. Get out here. Bring your family. Go to a ball game and cheer on your school. You expect it when your kid's out there playing. Take the time on a Friday night. And the weather's been good. I mean, it hasn't been snowing or raining or rain. I mean, we've got a lot of those games.
And believe me, it's nice and warm up here in the press box.
Well, it's always warm up here. But, you know, for those, when you sit, they need to take the time to come. Zeeland East brought a good crowd out there.
Yeah.
And again,
that's better than most teams in the SMAC bring.
Other than Lakeshore.
And
Niles, probably. But you're right. But, you know, to the fans that came, thank you. To the community that didn't come, take the time next Friday. Come. You're playing for a district title. You're looking to get into the final 8. You know, last time St. Joe was 5-4 and made the playoffs and made it to the semifinals in 2021. Hopefully it's the same thing this year. But I'd like to get the Ford Field.
Speaking of next week, the Bears are going to be playing Zeeland West after Zeeland West pulls the shocker against number 1 seeded Niles. Yep. And I don't really say it's not really a shocker because Zeeland West is the defending champion in Division III. But that had to be a hell of a game down in Niles tonight.
Well, and remember, Niles made it to the state championship in Division IV. And now because they're keeping more of their athletes, they moved up a class because the enrollment moved up. And Niles led most of that game. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, West came back.
I mean, that very same thing could have happened here.
Oh, yeah, it really could have. But it very easily could have happened here. And could have had both East and West playing each other. So, yeah, I'm just thankful St. Joe gets another home game, another chance, another week to heal up. I know a couple of guys are coming back next week. And hopefully the Bears will be the healthiest they've been in a number of weeks as they take on a very, very good Zeeland West team, which beat East pretty good during the season. You
know what the best thing is about next week since it's here?
Yeah.
I don't have to ride in the vehicle with you, Joel, Mike, and Roger.
Well, and actually, we all feel the same way, Mike. So just want to let you know.
St. Joe with the 20-6 win over Zeeland East in the first round of the district tournaments. Bears will be hosting Zeeland West at Dickinson Stadium next week. We probably think it'll be Friday night, but nothing official as of yet. But we'll be on the air if it's Friday night at 6:30 on WSJM with Joel, Bret, and Mike.
Yeah, Mike had to work.
Mike had to work tonight?
Yeah, he was doing it remotely tonight.
Oh, okay. Dave Wolf, WSJM Sports.